Master Zelden, you've only been at the EPA for a few months, but in that time, you've done more to dismantle this agency than probably all of your predecessors put together. That may be a source of pride for you, but it is not for the American people. You've unlawfully terminated grants without justification. You've fired and pushed out some of the best scientists who inform EPA's decision-making. You refuse to spend money that Congress has appropriated to the EPA by law. And you've launched a pro-polluter effort to delete dozens of environmental protections.
Hey folks, welcome back to True Voice, the channel where we speak truth to power and call out the corruption. Please hit that subscribe button right now and join the fight. We need your voice. Today, we're reacting to an absolute mic drop moment from Senator Adam Schiff as he completely dismantles the Trump-era EPA director, Mr. Zelden, in a congressional hearing. This is about the health of our kids, our environment, and our future. Let's watch.
On top of all this, you've launched an effort to overturn California's Clean Air Act waivers that improve the quality of air breathed by 40 million Californians and by millions more in other states who have adopted California's high standards. That effort, for which my colleagues have decided to eliminate the filibuster to achieve, is not exactly what anyone would call cooperative federalism. But it's your budget that's the ultimate proof of your priorities. You propose cutting America's environmental agency by 55%, meaning that in your view and that of President Trump, more than half of the environmental efforts of the EPA, more than half of the efforts to make sure Americans have clean air and clean water are just a waste. They're just a waste. Meaning that Californians and people all over the country, when they breathe the air, thanks to your good work, it'll mean there's more diesel and more other particulate matter in the air. When they drink a glass of water, they may not be able to see it, but this water that Americans drink is going to have more chemicals like PFAS, forever chemicals in their water. This will be your good work. I want to be very specific about the legacy you're going to leave if you're successful in eliminating half of our efforts to clean our water and our air. Your legacy will be more lung cancer. It'll be more bladder cancer. It'll be more head and neck cancer. It'll be more breast cancer. It'll be more leukemia and pancreatic cancer, more liver cancer, more skin cancer, more kidney cancer, more testicular cancer, more colorectal cancer, more rare cancers of innumerable varieties. That will be your legacy. I don't know that that's a legacy that anyone should want to have. My kids are going to be breathing that air just like yours. My family's going to be drinking the water just like yours. We may not be able to pinpoint just who gets cancer because you've done away with half the budget of those looking out for our clean water and clean air. But it's going to be somebody's kids, it's going to be somebody's family. To put this in more specific terms, there are 22 grants frozen by the EPA focused on improving health and reducing pollution, many of which directly impact children. For example, one project in Santa Ana, California, provided funding to help detect and prevent lead poisoning in children. According to the census, about 10% of the population in Santa Ana are under the age of 9. With a population of about 310,000 people, that means that 31,000 children are at risk of lead poisoning in Santa Ana without this funding. What is it about this grant that you and EPA believe is problematic enough to freeze this funding and put potentially 31,000 children at risk?
Senator, who is the grant applicant?
This is to the city of Santa Ana.
You have the biggest, you have the biggest state, so we're going to have to go through every single list of the grant. Well, by the way, with that wind-up, by the way, I understand that you were an aspiring fiction writer. I see why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand your view that you can cut half of the agency and it won't affect people's health or their water or their air. That, to me, is a big fiction, Mr. Zelden.
forgot about the fact of cleaning up
I have
after
to think,
LA
Mr. Zeldin,
wildfires.
I think, Mr. Zeldin,
President when I was in San Diego.
if your children were
With the
drinking
Tijuana
water,
River sewage crisis,
if your
apparently we're
children
going
were
out on our
drinking
own for
water
that.
in Santa Ana, Mr. Zeldin, maybe you wouldn't be so cavalier about whether there was lead in their water. Maybe you would give a damn instead of coming in here and suggesting that any grant that takes lead out of the water must be waste, fraud, or abuse because you need
time has expired.
the money for a tax cut for rich people because you're totally beholden to the oil industry. You could give a rat's ass about how much cancer your agency causes.
The gentleman's time has expired. The chair recognizes herself.
That right there, that's what accountability should look like. Senator Schiff didn't pull punches, and he shouldn't have, because what Zelden and the Trump administration tried to do to the EPA was nothing short of environmental sabotage. This isn't some abstract debate about red tape. This is about people getting cancer. This is about kids in places like Santa Ana, California, drinking water with lead in it because some bureaucrat decided that helping children wasn't a priority anymore. Schiff listed cancers: lung, bladder, breast, pancreatic, not to scare us, but to remind us what's at stake when we gut environmental protections. You slash 55% of the EPA's budget, and you're telling Americans that they don't deserve clean air or safe water unless it fits into a corporate profit margin. And let's talk about that Santa Ana grant. 31,000 children at risk of lead poisoning. And Zelden couldn't even name the grant, couldn't even fake concern. If that doesn't make your blood boil, I don't know what will. Because if those were his kids, you better believe we'd hear a different story. The truth is, this wasn't mismanagement, this was deliberate. This was an administration hell-bent on serving oil execs and billionaires while poisoning the rest of us. And Schiff said it best. They didn't give a damn. They didn't give a rat's ass. This video matters. This kind of leadership of actually standing up, calling out the rot, and defending our communities, it's rare. But it's what we need more of. So to anyone watching this who still thinks environmental protections are just big government overreach, take a walk outside. Breathe the air. Look at your kids. And ask yourself, do I trust a government run by oil lobbyists to protect them? We need to fight for our environment. We need to fight for public health. And we need to support voices like Senator Schiff who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said, loud and clear. This is True Voice. I'm Andrew. If this fired you up, if you believe in truth, justice, and a livable planet, subscribe now. Share this video. Let's make some noise, because silence is complicity, and we're done being silent.